Hello traders, good day to you. This is Footy Trader from myfootballtrading.com, and I'm more than happy to be able to record yet another video with my league previews. Very excited for the upcoming weekend. I hope that you are too. And this is the first of the videos where I'm looking at the Premier League. But before I do, as in the past weeks, I will start with having a look very quickly at the results. So what happened last week? So this is the watch list that I had, and all the games with the results. It's even, to be honest, it's even more than I expected. You can see that the average liability, if I can get quickly the average, it was 26.5. And all the trades resulted in a total net profit of 149.19, which is amazing, really. I made a mistake in the Brentford West Ham trade. Really, West Ham was leading 2-1. I should have removed my liability from that trade. I didn't, and I had to pay for my mistake. Then Villarreal Athletic Bilbao, I wasn't involved in the end. In this trade, it would have been a winner because from what I recall, Athletic Bilbao won pretty comfortably. So that would have been a winner. And Fiorentina Juventus, I've shared a screenshot on my Twitter from that one as well. It was a scratch. Juventus won 1-0, even though Fiorentina was all over Juventus for like 80% at least of the game. So 0-1 wasn't the result really that you would expect looking at what was happening in the game. So when Juventus took the lead, I decided to take the profit and move it to the draw and to Fiorentina win, leaving 0-0 on Juventus. Juventus kept the clean sheet, and so no profit, no loss there. So this is why those two games are not added to the total. They both wouldn't change anything really. So fantastic result really last week. I know that there will be weekends where this watch list will be having more red than green. It doesn't matter that much. We are not counting the weekends here. If you have a profitable strategy, if you know that your approach is good, it doesn't really matter, right? Whether in a weekend you've made a profit or not, because in a bigger picture, you know that you will be profitable. It's and I mentioned it on Twitter. It's like with a casino, right? If you have a casino and if you have a roulette, casino knows that they have an edge, mathematical edge, and they will win eventually, long term, right? And they don't panic if 3 people or four people or 5 people gamble on the roulette and win, right? It doesn't matter that it doesn't mean, that the casino's method is incorrect. They just need to keep going, and mathematically they will be on top. Right. So without further ado, let's see what the upcoming weekend brings, and we have the full card of games. Again, this is my tracker. I have the teams, I have the colors. Each color is representing a category. So the higher the number, the better the car, right? Why I'm saying the car and not the team? It's an analogy that I like. It's a car race, right? You can think of it as a car race, and basically car from category 2 is faster, is better, and its probability to win the race is of course higher. Yeah, so this is what we're looking for, this is what we know, and we compare this information to what the market is telling us, and whenever we disagree, we add this to the watch list and then trade in play to maximize the profits. Okay, so as I always do, let me have a look at the odds and fill in the spreadsheet, and we'll see. I'm going it with you literally for the first time. I don't know the odds. I will see them for the first time now with you guys, and then we'll have an analysis together and see what stands out. Okay, so first one, Wolves against Tottenham. We have 3.12 and 2.22. Arsenal against Burnley. It's number 2 against number 7. You all know what you can expect, and the market agrees with you. 119 for Arsenal and 1586 for Burnley. Crystal Palace against Everton. 245, 3.11. Okay. Then Manchester United against Luton. Number 3 against number 7, not number 2 against number 7. So the odds should be a little bit higher than 119, and they are 133 and 913. Yeah. So Bournemouth against Newcastle, we have 466 and 1.74, and then Sunday, Aston Villa against Fulham, 158, 579. Brighton against Sheffield United, so it's number 3 this time against the team number 7, and we have 1.24 against 11.8. Right, and then Liverpool against Brentford, this is 143, 677. West Ham against Nottingham Forest, 189 and 408. And the last one, last but not least, definitely, Chelsea, Manchester City, the big one, 507 and 1.73. Okay, so we have the odds, we have the probabilities. What do we add to the watch list? Is there anything that stands out? And remember, we don't have to agree, right? You can have a different opinion than I have. You can have different categories than I have. But what matters is the approach, right? This is the most important thing. Okay, so those very short odds I'm not gonna touch. So that's a no. Brighton against Sheffield, it's no, and Manchester United against Luton, it's no. You could argue that we have 124 for Brighton and 133 for Manchester United. Both are facing teams from category number 7. There is some kind of an inconsistency here, 124, 133, but okay, we will be looking for something more evident, right? Not this type of thing. Okay, then this one, Liverpool against Brentford, it's also a no for me, and West Ham against Nottingham, it's a no. West Ham number 5, Nottingham number 6, so it's fine. If we, however, compare it to Crystal Palace against Everton, which is also number 5 against number 6, the odds are pretty much different, 2.45, 3.11. Yeah, this is something that we can have a look at a little bit closer because and we need to ask ourselves a question: which odds are incorrect, right? Is it that Crystal Palace is 1.27 times better than Everton, or is it that West Ham is 2.16 times better than Nottingham Forest? For me, if I was to say, in my opinion, it's this one, right? I mean, Crystal Palace 1.27. I'm not sure. Maybe Everton should be also category 5, not category 6. It is a tricky one. Let me have a quick look at some more details. Yeah, so Everton 16, Crystal Palace 11th, only 4 points difference, really. And recently, yeah, Crystal Palace defeated Burnley, but Everton is doing pretty good. Everton defeated West Ham, stopped Brighton at home, and they've defeated Burnley 3-0 in the cup. Yeah, so maybe this is something that I will have a closer look at. But in a sense that I would be giving more chances to Everton here, really. So add it to the watch list. We'll have a look. Again, it doesn't mean that it is a certain entry in the market. Yeah, you need to wait for the lineups, wait for the team news, only then make a decision whether to enter the market or not. Chelsea, Manchester City, 1.73 for Manchester City. I think this is very reasonable. When I saw this pair, Chelsea, Manchester City, in my head, when I was trying to predict the odds, I was saying 1.8, so 173, something that I can accept. Aston Villa number 3, Fulham number 6, 158. It's okay. And the same here, number 3 against number 7. Okay, 174. Again, we could argue 174, that should be lower, right? If we say that Bournemouth is worse than Fulham, so 174, 158, right? This should be lower. But, with those poorly performing teams, whether it's category 5 or category 6, it's sometimes very fluid or very dynamic. So we need to take that into account. Again, I'm looking for something more clear instead of this. And I think that this one is Tottenham against Wolves. You all know what happened, right? So Tottenham lost to Chelsea 4-1, and I think this is the reaction after that game. But Tottenham had a very good 15 minutes. They were leading 1-0 and then they had a red card and then everything collapsed. But at the very same time, until then they played really good. Wolves, on the other hand, they lost to Sheffield United 2-1. So yeah, a little bit disappointing. The only thing is that they play quite well at home. Wolves. They stopped Newcastle. It was 2-2. They stopped Aston Villa, it was 1-1, and they even defeated Manchester City. So that's something that we may want to have in mind. But Tottenham is winning away, and yeah, and there is a difference, right? Tottenham, despite that loss with Chelsea, they are second in the table, just 1 point behind Manchester City, and Wolves are 14th. Yeah, so Tottenham, excuse me. So Tottenham 141 times better. I don't agree with that. For me, their probability of Tottenham defeating Wolves 45%. I think it's more than that. So for me, it's a yes. I think the odds, the Tottenham odds, should be lower still in this game. Okay, so 2 selections for the Premier League: Tottenham and Crystal Palace against Everton. I like Everton here. I think laying Crystal Palace at this moment seems like a good selection. But again, we will see what will happen, and what the lineups are closer to the game. Apart from that, there are some small discrepancies between these very small odds and this one for Newcastle, right? 174 against Bournemouth. This is these are good odds. I mean, if you want, 174 seems a little bit too high. I would probably expect something around 1.5 maybe. Newcastle 6 in the table, undefeated in last 5. Bournemouth, 18th. There is a huge difference between those two teams. Having said that, let me give it a yes, right? Let me give it a yes here and see. Okay, so thank you very much. This is the first video of the series for this weekend. The second one is the La Liga video, so stay tuned for that. And in fact, just click on the other video if you want to see what my thoughts are for the La Liga games. Thanks again. I appreciate you all. Stay green as always, and bye-bye.